will train non-stop. Some are witty, some are punny. You might groan, but hey, well I thought it was funny. So sit back, come, let's seize the day. Release coffee check, you're a laugh away.
Good morning, folks. The time is 10:25 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on the 10th of September, 2025. And of course, that's the 11th for my friends on the other side of the planet, my friends in Australia. Say hello to everybody in Australia, folks. But let's say hello to the city with the most group members of any other city around the world. Let's say hello to Melbourne. Hello, Melbourne. Hello, Melbourne. And Melbourne. Hello, Melbourne. 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 Oh, Melbourne. 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 Oh, Melbourne. 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 In Melbourne. 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 Melbourne, 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 and Melbourne, 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 and Melbourne, 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 Melbourne. Wow, I can't believe I'm finally gonna be in Australia. Kangaroos! Hey, buddy, what's... Oh!
Quit saying Melbourne! Yeah.
Oh my god, what the hell just happened to me? I'm so sorry, folks, but I spent too much time making that video that I'm not gonna throw it in at least once in a while, right? Plus, it still makes me laugh. Folks, my name is Lee. I'm the guy who started these groups. We've got two groups, my friends. These groups called Well, I Thought It Was Funny. And you folks are you. And how do I know that? Well, who the heck else would you be, right? And I also know that you folks are amazing. And how do I know that? Well, these groups of ours, they were only all right before you got here. And now they are freaking amazing. Therefore, you must be the amazing part of that equation. Thank you for being awesome. Thanks for making us amazing. You folks rock. And good morning to everybody. Cheers. And you know, we've got about 857,000 members in our little community of ours. That's more people than a lot of cities have population. So I know I repeat myself all the time, but I love saying this. And I know there's a few of you out there that know what I'm going to say. What are we? We are the funniest city on the internet, my friends. Population us, funny people in a funny place, making people laugh. Ridiculous numbers of people come here to laugh. Well, I will just say hundreds of thousands of people every day come to the group. Individual visits to the group. Not the same people coming over and over again to these groups, this community of ours, to get their laughs. And you're providing them. You rock. Thank you very much. So what are you folks doing today? You know, I ask this every day, and I don't get a lot of responses from a lot of folks, but I would love to hear just a tiny bit about your day. At the minimum, I would love it if you could just take a moment right now and click one of the response buttons on the video. You know, like the happy face, even the sad face, the angry face, the concerned face, you know, whatever, a heart. Just click that, just so I know that you're even here. You've done that? All right. Now, if you really want to help out, why don't you pipe up and let me know what's been going on in your life, folks? Just the bare minimum. What's happening with you? How are you doing? You could just say hi. That'd be cool. In a comment on today's video. But I would really love to know a little bit about your life, like your hobbies, your pets, your plants, a little bit about your city, town, or village. Is there some cool landmark? Is there some stupid landmark? Anything like that. Why don't you comment on today's video? But at the minimum, please hit the reaction button. That means I know that you're watching. Anyways, so what's been going on in my life? Well, after we finished the video on Monday, I got to reinstalling Windows on a computer that's actually behind me on a shelf there. that's the computer that actually runs this graphic here on the TV. That's my other thing. But that's not all it does. It's also what I use as my Plex server. Now, it's going to sound like a commercial for Plex. It's not. I'm just going to explain it because I'm telling you what I'm doing in my life. Well, first thing, it took me what seemed like forever to get that computer up and running again. I have been having issues with it. When it's running absolutely fine. It's just when it has to restart, I actually had to get involved in the restart or else it would just fail. So what happens is when the computer was restarting, I would have to hit escape and it would bring up the menu, like the boot menu. I would just have to tell it to continue. Then it would go to the next window and then there'd be a Windows boot screen that says which version of Windows do you want to install, 1 or 2. I'm like, well, 1. And they showed that they were on the same hard drive, which was kind of weird. And then it would just boot normally. But this would get in the way of doing updates because when Windows would do updates, it wouldn't automatically go reboot after the update was done. So Windows would say, okay, there's an issue with the update. It would undo the update and it would never get updated. This was a pain in the butt. So I decided, okay, I'm just going to wipe everything on the hard drive, on the main hard drive in there, and start fresh. So I did that. I reinstalled Windows once, and I was having lots of problems. It was so slow that it was unusable, which is really weird. But I tried working with it. I tried adding, putting the drivers in for all the little components in the computer. It didn't get better. So you know what? I'm going to reinstall it again. Did it again. The same thing happened. So I thought there's got to be something wrong. Like, what's going on inside? So I actually shut the computer down. I opened up the computer and I took out some stuff that's in the way because this is a little mini business computer thing. So it's kind of crowded inside. So I had to take some fans out and stuff like that. And I took a look and I noticed there was 2 hard drives. Well, they're a specific kind of hard drive. They're called an M.2. I think PCIe SATA drive, whatever. You can look that up. I'm sure I got the letters mixed up a little bit, but anyways, they look like a little, like they're on like a, they don't look like your traditional old hard drives if you know what those look like. These are on like a little skinny board. They go into a little slot and you just screw them down, and they're kind of tiny. I knew there was one in there. I didn't realize there was a second one in there that apparently had partially failed in the past, and it wasn't properly showing up in the computer in the boot menu, but it was screwing things up. So I took that out. This is after 12 hours, my friends. 12 hours. I took that out. I put everything mostly back together, started up the computer, reinstalled Windows on just the single hard drive that was in there. Everything went really fast. Everything seemed to be working great. I was so happy. Now, I installed Plex, as I'm showing you here. Plex is an application that allows you to share. It's a media server is what it is. So it allows you to share your media files, whether they're video files or music files or even pictures and that, on all your other devices. Now, if you have just your basic pass, which is you do have to sign up for Plex, there's a free version that allows you to do all that in your house. I have what's called Plex Pass, which I've paid for. It's a premium thing, but it also allows me to share it outside the house, and I can share it with friends too, so we can have like a movie night where we're all watching the same movie from my Plex server. Anyways, that's that. I'm not selling Plex, but that's what it's used for. I got that installed, great, everything. Now, another thing that was pretty important is that I could get my main computer, the one that I'm recording all this on, to talk to that computer, because it's also where I store a lot of most of the files that I use for making these videos and stuff like that. It's also where my music files are and my video files are. And sometimes I like to access them from here. That took another 3 hours to get straightened out, and it shouldn't take that. Well, these are both Windows 11 computers running Windows 11 Pro, so the same operating system, the same version, and running the same networking. Whatever, the same networking rules, instructions, whatever you want to call it, protocols, sorry. It should be way easier. That took another 3.5 hours or so. I was in bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, Monday night, just for getting that stupid thing working. Now, it's all working now. It's working great. It's working better than it's ever been. It was all because that's one little hard drive in there. Anyways, fixed. But that was my Monday. It was frustrating. In the middle I did take a break while it was installing Windows, like for the second time. Wendy and I went to Costco, did some shopping, had dinner, and then sat down again and just, spent the rest of my evening working on that. I took all freaking day. I'm going to turn off this Plex thing. I've explained to you what Plex is. So anyways, that was my Monday. Yesterday, I did a bit of laundry, just, the sheets and towels and stuff like that. Not that it matters. I did a little bit of laundry in the morning. And in the in the later afternoon, we went and visited Wendy's dad for about 2 hours. And then on the way home, had to stop for just a little bit more of a little more groceries, and had a relaxing evening. And that's what we did yesterday. Much less frustrating than my Monday evening, but nothing exciting. That's what I did. Now tonight is a little more exciting. I am working tonight. The classic rock and roll band, Lynyrd Skynyrd, they are in town tonight, and I guess it's another one of their farewell tours. Seen them a few years ago. I worked their concert a few years ago, and it was probably more than a few years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago now, and it was a farewell tour. So I don't know if they're calling this. I don't know what they're calling this one, but I expect it's going to be a great show. I mean, if you know Lynyrd Skynyrd, they have a pretty interesting history, and the core of the band, or a good chunk of the core of the band, the original band, died in a plane accident in the 70s. And anyways, they continued, and they sound great. And the last time they were here, they sounded great too. Definitely a greatest hits band kind of thing, right? I mean, I'm not going to lie, nobody's going to hear new music from them, even though they may or may not be making new music. And I don't mean to put them down. That's just something that happens when, classic rock bands. But I expect it's going to be a great show tonight. I'm going to be working it. Hopefully I'm in a place where I get to watch it. There's never any guarantees with that or anything, because there's a bunch of us and a bunch of different positions at work. I work for the company that owns the Calgary Flames, and the company that hosts events in the Scotiabank Saddledome here in Calgary, and also at McMahon Stadium, because I also work for several teams. Anyways, it's a great job. That's what I'm going to be doing tonight. Going to be fun. Looking forward to that. I'm looking very much forward to that. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I did the last couple of days. Now I want to know, as I said, I want to know about your day or days. I would like to know a little bit about your life. We've got to make this, what I'd like to do is make this funniest city on the internet, the friendliest city on the internet. And how do we do that? We get to know each other a little bit, right? So why not, as I've already asked, I know I repeat myself, but nobody's doing it. Well, a few people are. Why don't you please leave a little blurb about yourself, your pets, your plants, your hobbies, whatever. A little bit about you. I'd love to talk about you tomorrow. Now, Michelle Finnerty. Michelle Finnerty is one of our mods. She's also one of our more prolific posters here, and she always posts funny stuff, as you will see in our featured post today. Michelle Finnerty shared a little bit about her day yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before yesterday. She managed to get an amazing photo of a rainbow. It looks like it's near sunset. After the rain came through, and let me show you that, because this just looks gorgeous, folks. Like, look at the colors. That's not the kind of shot you get every day. Michelle takes a lot of great photos, and this is just an example of them. Michelle, this looks fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing that. Totally appreciate that. Folks, I want to know about your day. I want you to share a little bit. Sorry, getting a little froggy here. I want you to share a little bit about your day. I want to talk about you. People are getting tired of hearing about me, I'm sure. Let's feature you. I'd love to make you like our featured member next week or something. Well, that sounds dirty, but you know what I mean. I'd like to feature you in one of these videos. So cheers, folks. Oh, hey, like the coffee cup? You can get yourself one in our store at store.wellithoughitwasfunny.com. Hey, I got to try it, right? I like to feature post, memes every video, and today's no different. I've got 3 today. I've got one from Fergus Tyson. I've got one from Michelle Finnerty. I told you she's funny. And then I've got one from some jerk named Lee. Wait, that's me, actually. I'm sharing one that I shared. So I shared that this morning. Now, I know it's been shared here before in the past, but not recently, and it made me laugh. So I'm just making excuses for sharing my own post. But we're going to start off with Fergus Tyson's post. So let's bring those up right now, starting off with Fergus Tyson's post. Now I gotta lose weight. And cutting carbs really does help. But this is funny. I'm gonna buy a pizza cutter like this, I think, because I make a damn good pizza. And I like a good pun. Fergus, thank you very much. I've shared Fergus' posts before, and I love sharing you post funny stuff. You make me laugh, Fergus. I'm sure you made other people laugh. And next one here, this is from Michelle Finnerty. I tell you, if this worked out, we would have some ripped people in this group, eh? Let's see those pipes, my friends. Come on, post your photos sharing your pipes. That'd be awesome. Do that in the comments. Post photos of you folks just flexing from your mean muscles. Come on. Michelle, thank you. Michelle's got to be ripped, I tell you, with all the great stuff that she shares. Michelle, thank you very much for making me laugh. And once again, I'm sure you made a lot of other people laugh with this, because you make a lot of people laugh with all your posts. Next one is from this jerk here. All right, going to bring it up here. This I just find just absolutely hilarious, and I just find this this comic strip hilarious too. Now I don't know if it's twonks or toonks, because TWO is two. I call it twonks, but hey, I could be wrong. And you know, if there was an official comic strip of this group, this one would be in the running. Twonks or toonks would definitely be in the running for being it, because they just make me laugh almost every single day. Anyways, made me laugh. I hope it made some of you laugh. I'm just trying to justify featuring stuff that I share, but I absolutely do find this hilarious. So, folks, I hope you found our featured post today funny. I hope you find a lot of posts in our group funny. And I got to tell you, we wouldn't have 857,000 members in this community of ours if it wasn't funny. And it's funny because of you. I mean, when it was just me and my friends, it was mildly amusing. Now it's hilarious, and that's because of you. Once again, cheers to being funny, my friends. All right, so I think it's got to be around the time where I tell you folks it's time for the bad jokes. What happened when the icicle landed on the guy's head? It knocked him out cold. Not all construction is equally enjoyable. For example, digging a hole is boring, and fastening pieces of metal together is riveting. If running late was considered exercise, I'd be an Olympic athlete. Did you know that the shortest distance between two jokes is a straight line? I've learned that if my wife says she'll be ready in 15 minutes, then she'll be ready in 15 minutes. There's no reason for me to hound her every half hour. All right, folks, really quick. We have a great store where we've got these fantastic coffee cups. We've got hoodies. We got shirts. Heck, we got shirts. Look at this. We got shirts. This is my 3/4 sleeve rock shirt, like they call it. Why do I call it that? Because it reminds me of concert shirts that I used to get when I go to concerts. I still get them. I still go to concerts. So this reminds me of. We got shirts. We got hoodies. We got a regular t-shirt. I'm going to bring that up right now. You can see all three of them right there, my friends. They look great. They're great quality, and they're going to look good on you because you're already a gorgeous looking person. Gorgeous looking person, great design, wow, unstoppable. Told you I got a coffee cup. I also got a 25-ounce to-go cup. Really good quality cup. Keep your hot beverages hot, your cold beverages cold, and look good and represent the group at the same time. What else do I have? Oh my gosh, my friends, you're not going to believe this. I got a tote bag. I'm sorry, I sound like an idiot. I got this great tote bag. That's Rose Glad there with her tote bag saying not only is it good for groceries, it's good for books. And as you can see right there, it's great for hauling around your rubber chickens. Thank you, Rose. That rocks, and you rock, Rose. Folks, check out our store. We got a lot of cool stuff there, and I'm sure there's going to be something there for you. And if you buy one of our shirts or our hoodie or one of those coffee cups, or we have a phone case, we've got stickers. Let's see how you represent, my friends. So visit the store at store.wellithoughtitwas.com. You know, I said I was going to talk about you, and I am, but I just got to say one more thing. Actually, it's a request. It's a favor, 2 favors I ask in almost every video. I want you to, if you can, try to make somebody laugh today. You know, if it's an appropriate time and place, try to make somebody laugh today. No matter what's happening, if you make them laugh, their day's gotten a little bit better, even if it's already great. And the second favor, and it's along the same lines, you deserve to laugh too, my friends. Try to make sure you find something today that makes you laugh. Maybe it just already happened. Maybe it just happened spontaneously. But if you're not laughing, if you haven't found something to laugh, hunt it down. Look for something funny. Maybe you get a few minutes, watch a funny video, find a funny meme. Maybe you're watching a funny movie. Maybe just a funny thought. Maybe a situation happens and you say something that's funny. I need you to laugh. I really do. The whole point of me making these groups was to make people laugh. And if you're making people laugh, you deserve to laugh too, my friends. So try to find something that makes you laugh. And please share it to the group if you can. And comment on that saying, Lee, this is really what made me laugh. Or if it's already in the group, comment on that. Something along the same lines. Tag me, though, in that. And if it's just a situation or something like that that popped up and you can share that and want to share it, comment on this video saying, hey, this is what made me laugh. This is what happened. I would love to talk about that. And even if you don't want to talk about it, I'd love to know what made you laugh. Because it's important that you're laughing too, my friends. Because you folks are making so many people laugh every day. You deserve the same thing. Now we're going to talk about you. All I want to say is you folks have blown me away, and I appreciate every single one of you. These groups have been so successful. The community, let's just call it a community of, well, I thought it was funny, has been so successful because of what you've brought to it. Sure, I may have put those building blocks in place, but you filled it out. You made them funny, and you're the reason why we are, maybe heading for 1 million people. We still got 243,000 to go. That's a lot. It is a lot. But, I thought 1,000 people were a lot too. And 1,000 people was a lot of people. And look at us today, the funniest city on the internet. Funny people in a funny place, making people laugh. And that's because of you. You rock. I'm going to be here again in video form in 2 days on Friday, hopefully earlier. I always want it to be earlier in the morning, but I'm going to be here, I promise. I hope you're going to be here again too. I hope we have a few new people, and I really hope I hear from you too. Comment anything, just a little click that little button, the happy face, sad face, angry face. Please do that. Share your jokes, send your jokes to jokes@wellithoughitwasfunny.com. Contact me maybe about getting my address for sending that audio cassette or video cassette to me with your jokes on it. Just want to hear from you, my friends. And we want to know that you're laughing. We're going to see you again on Friday. All the love.
Well, I thought it was funny.
Well, I think it was funny.
Well, I thought 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 it was funny.